Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Learn with Lakineni. So I hope you are all following my videos on Python from basics to advanced concepts. In this video, I am going to explain what is a list data structure in Python. So before watching my video, please subscribe to my channel, Learn with Lakineni. Please like it, share it and comment it so that you will get more updates from my channel. Here in this tutorial, I am going to explain what is a list data structure in Python, what are the various advantages with the list data structure, and what are the methods available with the list data structure. I will explain. I will explain completely the list data structure with examples. I will take all the methods and I will explain you about the list data structure with complete hands-on examples. So what is a list? A list means it is a collection. A list means it is a collection. If you want to keep a group of items together, then you can go with a list. That means if you want to represent a group of individual objects as a single entity, where you can insert, where you want to preserve your insertion order, where you can allow duplication of the elements, then we have to go for list. A list is a data structure in which you can keep an individual objects, you can preserve the insertion order, and you can have duplicate elements in the list. So here simply a list is a collection. Here you can say a list is a collection. A list is a collection in which a list is a collection. A list can be created. The elements in the list are enclosed within the square brackets. The main purpose or the main property of lists are list preserves insertion order. That means the way in which you are entering the elements into the list, the insertion order is preserved. Duplicate objects are allowed. That means you can have the same object at any number of times. That means duplication of objects are allowed. And heterogeneous objects are allowed. Heterogeneous means different type of objects we can keep in the list. Let us suppose here I am creating a list in which I can keep integer, I can keep float values, I can keep strings, I can keep another list object. That means here it is an integer, here it is a float, here it is a string, here it is a list. So this list consisting of heterogeneous objects. That means duplication of elements is allowed and different type of objects within a list are allowed. Next, a list is dynamic because based on our requirement we can increase the size and we can decrease the size. That means if you are keeping on inserting the elements in the list, the size of the list will be dynamically increased. If you want to delete some items from the list, the list size of the list will be decreased. That means a list is growable in nature. Either you can increase the size of the list or you can decrease the size of the list. A list is growable. So that is what is called list is dynamic, because based on our requirement we can increase the size or decrease the size. This is the most important factor of list. And in the list we can place the elements in the list by separating with a comma. So this is the element, this is an element, this is an element, this is an element. All these elements are inserted within a square brackets, and each element is separated with a comma. So this is a way of creating a list. So in the list, the elements will be placed within the square brackets and with comma separator. So these are some basic information about a list. Suppose we have some, I already told that a list can consisting of duplicate elements. So how can we identify the duplicate elements? Every element has its own index, which starts from 0. So we can differentiate duplicate elements by using index, and we can preserve insertion order by using index. Hence, index will play very important role in list. So if you see here, we can differentiate duplicate elements by using index, and we can preserve the insertion order by using index. Hence, index will play very important role. Okay, suppose I have a list L. In that list I have 10, 20, 30, again 10. So here 10 is there, here 10 is there. That means 10 repeated 2 times. That means duplicate. But we can identify this 10 by the index 0. We can identify this by index 3. So always the indexing starts from 0 to n minus 1. 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is the 10 which is available at index L of 0, 0. This is available at index 3. Okay, so we can differentiate the duplicate elements by their index position. Suppose if we take this list here 10, A, B, 20, 30, 40. Here integer type objects are there and string type objects are there. So it is a list. It is containing heterogeneous elements. Okay. So list objects are mutable. That means we can insert the elements and you can change the elements. Suppose here I have a list 10, 20, 30, 40. So these are the elements in the list. Suppose I want to change the element at index 1. So this is at index 0, 1, 2, 3. If you want to change the element at index 1, you can change the elements at index 2. So this is called as mutability. Mutable nature means you can change the elements once it is created. Once the list is created, if you want to make any modification, you can modify. That means a list is a collection data type in which you can have collection of elements, and list allows heterogeneous objects. The insertion order of every element will be preserved. In a list, we can keep duplicate elements. Duplicate elements will be identified with the help of their respective index positions. And also, a list is groupable nature. That means once the list is created, if you want to increase the size of the list, you can dynamically insert the elements into the list and you can increase the size of the list. Suppose if you want to remove the elements from the list, you can remove the elements from the list. Similarly, list objects are mutable. That means whatever the objects which you are keeping into the list, those objects can be changed. So these are the some basic features of a list. So the main features are list consisting of heterogeneous data. That means in a list you can keep integers, in a list you can keep floats, strings, boolean, another list object. Like that you can keep different objects within a list, so that a list is a heterogeneous data type. So this is a just introduction about what is a list. So now we will go with a hands-on examples so that you will learn what is a list, how to create the list, what are the different methods available of the list, what are the importance of various methods. All these things I will explain with some examples. Here if you see, suppose a list can be created, an empty list can be created, L is equal to square brackets. So this is the way of creating an empty list. Suppose if you want to know the type of L, so it is saying that it is a list object. It is a list object. So this is a way of creating an empty list. If you want to create an empty list, you just simply write L is equal to open square bracket, close the phrase. Don't write anything. So this is the way of creating an empty list. So if you want to see whether a list is created or not, you can use the method type and you just send the object. Then it is saying that it is a list object. Suppose if you want to create a list with some elements, you can create a list with some elements is equal to L is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that means I have created a list with 5 elements. 5 elements. Now if you print L, so the list was successfully created. The list was successfully created. If you want to know the type of L, it is saying that you have created a list L. Here you created a list L. Suppose if you want to know the number of elements in the list, just you simply write length of L, so that it is giving there are 5 elements in the list. Suppose if you want to know the maximum element, you just simply write the common function max. In that for that max function, you just send the list object. It is saying that 50 is the maximum. Suppose if you want to see the minimum value in the list, you just write the method min, or you can call function min, and in that function you just pass L, so that it is showing the minimum value as 10. Suppose if you want to know, as I already informed that a list can have heterogeneous elements. Suppose here I am creating a list L1 is equal to, here this is a 12, 13.5, comma, within quotations I am writing ABC, comma, and also I am writing bool value. Suppose if you want to know the type of L1, it is saying that the list is, it is a type list. That means you can have heterogeneous elements from the list. Suppose if you want to see the data type of each element, you can use the for loop and you can know the data type of each element. So you can write like this: for I in L1, print type of I, so that it will give you the type of each element. Suppose if you see in the list L1, the first element is of type integer, the second element is of type integer, the third element is of type integer, fourth element is of type string, last element is of type bool. So that if you want to see the type of elements present in the list, you can go with a for loop. For I in L1, print whatever the value it is taking by I, you just print the type of I. It is showing what data type, what is the type of the particular element in the given list. Similarly, if you want, you can keep a list inside a list. Suppose I have taken L2, the list. Here I am writing 10 as a element, 12.5 is another element, and here I have kept another list. You can keep a list inside a list. So if you ask what is the type of L, it is saying that the type is list. Suppose if you write for loop for I in L2, print type of I, then it is showing that. So in the given list, the first element is integer, so that it is showing that it is an integer. Second element is 12.5 float, and the next element is it is a list type. So that it is showing that list. Okay. So this is a way of keeping different objects within a single list. In similar fashion, you can use the common function length. If you want to know the length of L2, it is showing that the length of L2 is 3. That means there are 3 number of elements in the list L2. Suppose if you want to know how many elements are there in L1, you just write length of L1. It is saying that there are 5 elements in the list L1. So length len is a common method. If you pass any sequence into that length, it will give you the number of characters present in the list or the sequence. Suppose here I have created a list. Let us suppose L is equal to 10, 20, 30. So this is the list I have created. Now after later I want to insert some element into the list. Suppose if you want to insert an element into the list, you can use the list method called as insert. Insert is a method by which you can insert an element into the list. As I already informed that a list is global nature. So later on, if you want to make any changes to the list, you can make modifications happily to the list. Either you can increase or you can decrease or you can change the element at respective position. Changing of element is called as mutability. So here I have a list object L. So here L dot. What is the method available in the list class? Insert is a method which inserts the given element at a respective position. So here you have to mention the position. Here this is in insert you have two attributes. One is called as position and second one is called as value which you want to insert. So L dot, if I want to insert 40, L dot insert of suppose 3 some 40, 3 40. That means I want to insert an element 40 at position 3. This means insert the element or the value 40 at index 3. So that is the meaning of insert. Suppose if you write L dot insert. Here I want to insert L dot insert of 3 40. So now I have executed the code. Now I want to print the list L1. So previously the elements in the list are 10, 20, 30. Now the elements in the list are 10, 20, 30, 40. So where do I want to insert? I want to insert at the position 3. So here this is the position, this is the index at 0, 1, 2. Now I want to insert the element at index position 3. So finally the element is added at the end of the list. So 10, 20, 30, their places were not shifted. Simply you want to add the element 40 at the index 3. That means here the index 3 at the last element. So this is a way of inserting a new element into the list by using the predefined method available in the list class insert. So insert takes two parameters. The first parameter is the position where you want to insert. The second is the value which you want to insert. Suppose if you want to insert at some position L dot in insert at second position I want to insert some 55. At second position I want to insert some 55. So actually what are the elements are there in the actual list? In the actual list the elements are 10, 20, 30, 40. What are their indexes? 0, 1, 2, 3. Now you want to insert an element. You can insert element at the begin, in the middle of the list and at the end of the list. Anywhere you can insert. So here I am inserting at index 2. Actually what is there at index 2? At index 2 30 is there. Now you want to insert 55 at index 2. So immediately here 55 will be inserted, this 30 will be shifted to the right side. Shifted to the right side. Now what is the new list? 10, 20, 55, 30, 40. That means if 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 you want to insert an element at some index, let us suppose at that index an element is already there, then that element will be shifted to the right side. In that place, your element will be inserted. So this is a way of inserting an element at the required position. Suppose if you execute this code, so L is inserted. Now if you want to print, L, so now you can see here I have inserted twice the element. Now you can see here I have executed this twice. That's why 255 were inserted. Set this is 0, this is 1. At position 2, 55 was inserted. Again I want to insert at position 255. This 55 will be shifted to the right side. Again at this place this 55 will be added. So this is the way of inserting the elements into the list by using insert method. So here a method is called a remove method. By using remove method in the list, you can remove a particular element from the given list. As I already explained that a list is growable in nature. That means once the list is defined, after that if you want to increase the elements, you can increase. That means the size of the list will be increased. Suppose if you want to delete the elements from the list, you can delete. That means the size of the list will be decreased. Suppose if you take here, this is your list consisting of 6 elements. Now I am using the remove method. So L dot remove of 20. That means I want to remove the element 20. So after removing the element 20, so what are the elements left in the list? So 10, 55, 55, 30, 40. So these are the elements left in the given list after removing the element 20. So like that you can remove the required element, the desired element from the list. Suppose if you see this, here I have a list 10, 55, 55, 30 and 40. Suppose I want to remove an element 55. But this 55 existed more than one time. That is multiple times. Then if you want to remove 55, which 55 will be removed? Either this 55 or this 55, or both 55s will be removed. So here when you want to remove a particular element by using the remove method, if that element existed more than one time in the list, then its first occurrence will be removed. That means if you want to remove 55, what is the first occurrence from left to right? Here at index 1 is the first occurrence of 55. This 55 will be removed. So after removing 55, what are the elements left in the list? 10, 55, 30, 40. So when you are removing a particular element, if the particular element presented in the list for more than one time, its first occurrence will be removed from left to right. So this is a way of using the remove method. Suppose if you want to remove L dot remove of 55, that means 55 is there twice. Now I want to remove 55. Suppose if you print L, so you can see the first occurrence of the 55 is removed and the remaining elements will be continued as it is. So this is the way of using the remove method in the list class. And next method in the list are append and extend. Suppose I have a list L is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now I have another list L1 is equal to some 60, 70, 80. Now I want to append the list L2, L1 into the list L. Suppose here this is the list L1, this is the list L. This list L is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. What is list L2? L2 is 60, 70, 80. So now if you want to append this list L2 to L1, that means the whole list will be added as a single list object into the list. That means if you want to append one list into the another list, the whole list will be added as a single object into the list. That means here 10, after appending 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and because of this append method, the entire list of L2, L1, that means 60, 70, 80 will be added as a single element. So now, so how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So you cannot count the individual elements in the list. So this entire list is a single list object or single list element. So how many elements are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements are there in the given list after appending. Suppose if you write, so here I am appending L dot append of 2. That means into the L1, into the L, for this L1 was appended. So here I am using this L and this is the L1. So this L1 will be added to this L. Suppose if you execute this code, you can see. So how the list L is changed with the elements from the list L1. So actually this is L. So as it is. Now you want to append L1 to the list L. So what is L1? 60, 70, 80. This entire list added as a single element to the list L. So this is the way of using the append method. Append method adds another list as a single object into the another list. Okay, so this entire list is added as a single object into the actual list. Suppose if I write like this, L2 dot append of L1. Here the entire L will be added as a single list object into the existed L2. So what is L2 here? Here L2 is equal to 60, 70, 80. What is L here? L is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now I want to append L2 dot append of L1. L. So here simply L1 list will be updated like this. So this is the actual 60, 70, 80. And this entire list will be added as a single object. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now if you want to print L1, so this will be printed. Suppose if you want to see, here I am writing again the same elements. Now I want to append L1 dot append of L. So now I want to print L1. Now you can see. Here this is the list L. This is the list L1. Here you want to append L to L1. That means what are the elements in L1? These are the elements. What is L? This entire list added as single element into the list. So now if you want to see the length of L1, so here 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the individual elements within the list won't be considered for the count. So if you want to see the length of L1, you can see there are 4 elements present in the given list L1 after appending. So this is the way of using the append method. Now extend. Suppose again I have taken two lists L1, L2. Now I want to extend L1 dot extend. I want to extend with L1. I want to extend L with list L1. Now if you print L, you can see extend is a method which adds all the individual elements from the list into the another list. So here what is it? Here L dot. So what is L? Your initial list. So here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now for that L you want to extend. L1. So what are the elements are there in the L1? 60, 70, 80. These elements will be added individual objects to the list L. So here for this list, these three elements added as a individual objects. So now if you want to see the length of the list, so the length of the list will be 8. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the length of the list. So this is the advantage with this is the way of using the extend. Suppose if you want to see length of L, so the length of L is equal to see 8. So what is extend? Extend adds the individual elements or individual objects from the list into the list. Okay. So this is the way of using the extend method. So similarly, if you want to delete an element, you can use the remove method. So remove of element will be used to remove an element from the list. Suppose if you don't know the element, but if you know the index of the element to remove, so then you have to use the method called as del. So here del L of so I want to delete an element at index some 5. I don't know what is the element, but I want to remove the element at index 5. So then you can use DL L of 5. That means the element at index 5. So what is the element at index 5 here? Here the L is, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what is the element at index 5? 60. This 60 will be removed permanently from the list by using del keyword. Suppose if you execute this code, you can see if you want to print L, now please check it. Here in the previous actual L at position 5, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At position 5, element 60 is there. But here at position 5, the element 60 is not there. Okay, so this is a way of deleting the elements from the list object. Similarly, you can use the pop method to remove elements from the given list. Suppose here, what is my list? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 80. Suppose if you use L dot pop, if you use L dot pop, so you can see it has returned an element 80. That means pop is a method which removes the lost element from the list. So what is the lost element in the list? 80. This element permanently removed from the list, and this element will be returned to you. This element will be returned to the user. But if you suppose if you use L dot remove of 80, this 80 will be removed from the list, but that value won't be returned. So remove won't return any value. But if you use L dot pop, this pop method, after removing the lost element from the list, the deleted element will be returned to the user. Here what is the deleted element? Here 80 was deleted. So now it has given that element to the user. So pop gives the return value, the element which it is deleted, but remove won't give any return value. It silently delete the required element from the given list. Suppose if you want to see here what happened, the element pop, the lost element was removed. And what is the next word? And it is returned. The element is removed was returned by the pop method. That means there is a pop method is returning the value. Now what is the resultant list? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Suppose if I use again the pop method, if I again use the L.pop, again it has returned some value. What is the value? The value which is removed from the last element. So what is the last element from the list? 50. 50 will be removed and it is shown to the user, or it is returned to the user. L.pop. So this is the advantage with the pop method. Similarly, if you want to delete an item, an element from the list using the pop method at a particular index, you can use the pop method like this. L.pop. I want to delete the element at index position 1. So what is the element at index position 1? If you don't mention any value inside the pop method, it always removes the last element. But if you want to remove a particular element from the given list, so you can specify L.pop of you just give the index at which you want to remove. That element will be removed and will be returned. That element will be removed and it will be returned. Suppose if you execute this, so what is the element at index 1? So this is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what is the element at index 1? The element at index 1 is 20. This 20 is returned. So that means it has deleted the element 20 from the list and it has displayed the element. Now if you see the list, so 20 was removed and what are the elements left in the list L? So 10, 30, 50. So these are the elements left in the list. So pop 1, L.pop of 1. So it is a parameter, it is a value. So pop method will remove the element at this index and the removed element will be sent or displayed to the user. So that means pop can be used in two ways. One is L.pop. Second one is L.pop of a particular element. If you don't mention anything, lost element from the list will be removed and returned. The value will be returned. Suppose pop at index, the element at index position 3 will be removed and returned. That value will be removed. So whatever the element is there at index 3, that will be removed and will be sent as a return value. So these are the two ways of using the pop method. Now another important method of list is reverse. If you want to reverse the elements in the list, you can use the reverse method to reverse the list. Suppose here I am creating a list. L is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Now I want to reverse the elements of the list. So L dot reverse method, you just, and if you want to print L, so what happens? The elements in the list are reversed. So this is your original list 10, 20, 30, 40. Now you want to reverse the elements from right to left. L dot reverse method. So after reversing, if you are printing L, so here 40 comes to the first position, 30 comes to the second position, 20 comes to the third position, 10 comes to the last position. So that means all the elements in the entire list are reversed. Suppose here I have taken another list. Every time I am taking only homogeneous. Now let us suppose I am taking heterogeneous elements also. L is equal to 10, 13.4, 5, ABC, boolean value, ABC, true, boolean value. Now I want to reverse L1 dot reverse L1 dot reverse. Now if you print L1, now if you want to print L1, so it is print. So true, ABC 34.5, 10. That means the elements in the array, or you can call it as list, are reversed. So this is the last element. It becomes the first element. This is last but second element. Second element becomes third element. The first element becomes the fourth element. So this is the way reverse will reverse the elements in the existing list. It will make modifications in the original list. Next, another important method in list. Suppose if you want to keep the elements in the sorting order, then you can use the easiest method called as list sorting. List sorting. The easiest way to sort a list with the method called as sorted method. Sorted. The method name is, if you want to sort the elements in the list, you have to use the method sort. Sorted within the brackets, you have to send the function, you have to send the list object so that it will be sorted. So this takes a list and returns a new list with those elements in the sorting order. So what are the list which you are sending? The elements in the list will be sorted and that list will be returned. So but the original list is not changing. So when you are applying the sorted method on the list, the original order of the list won't be changed. So after sorting, a new object will be created with the new elements, or you can call it as a reversed elements. Suppose here I am creating a list. L is equal to, I am writing some 25, 15, 45, 34, 60, 55. So these are the elements in my list. Now I want to sort out. See here I am creating a list L2 is equal to sorted. For the sorted I am supplying a list L. Now if you want to print L1, so you can see here this is the original list. Now after applying the sorted method, the elements in the list comes to the sorting order. So the smallest element is 15, 25, next 34, next 45, 55 and 60. So this is the way of using the sorted method. Suppose if you want to see whether the original list was there or not, yes, the original list is maintaining as it is. The elements in the original list is not changing. So only the change, only whatever the intermediary list is created with the sort method, that intermediary list I am keeping in L1. Suppose if you print L1, the sorted elements you can see. Suppose if you want to print the list of elements in the reverse order, you can write like this: sorted. Suppose L3, L2 is equal to sorted. For the sorted, I am sending the list L, comma. Here I am writing reverse is equal to true. Reverse is equal to true. Reverse is equal to true. Yeah, this is a capital letter. So reverse is equal to true. Suppose if you print L2, you can see the elements are sorted and the sorted order will be placed in the reverse order. Suppose if you see here, After applying the sorted method, the elements comes into sorting order 15, 25, 45, 34, 45, 55, 60. This is an ascending order. This is an ascending order. Now I want to print these elements in the reverse order. That means I want 60 as the first element, next 55, 45, some 34 and 25 and 15. So if you want to print the output like this, you have to simply, after sorting, you have to use the attribute or parameter reverse is equal to true. Then after reversing, the elements are stored in L2. If you print L2, so you can see after sorting, the elements are in the reverse order. So you have to simply turn the reverse value. So reverse value is equal to true. So that the values after sorting will be reversed. So there is another method called as sort. Sort method is there in the list. Sort method is there in the list. Suppose if you use that sort method, here I have taken a list L is equal to 90, 45, 13, 55, 35, 67. So here L dot sort. Simply, if you press L, the elements in the original list are changed. So L dot sort. Sort is a method available in the list class. So if you apply the sort method on a list object, the original array will be changed with the sorted elements. The original array elements will be here. This is my original array. Here, this is my original array. So this original array was sorted out. So like 13. So 45, 55, 67, 90. That means the original list is changed with the elements in the ascending order with the method sort. So sort is a method. After sorting, the original list will be changed. But when the case of sorted, a new list was created, but original list was not affected. But when it comes to the sort method, original list is changed. And similarly, there is another way of creating the list. Suppose that is string split to create a list. Suppose I have a string s is equal to I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my string. I want to split the words in the string into a list object. Here I am taking a list L is equal to s dot split. There is a method called as split. Say here I am splitting based on the comma between the words. Now that split method will give the return value as a list object. Now if you want to print the list object, you can see the L becomes a list object. So what you have to observe here is, here S is a string. Now I want to cut out the individual words into the elements. So by using here I want to split these words, individual words. So how do I split? Based on some separator. What is separator here? Comma. So here what is the method? S dot split. So on what basis I am splitting? I am splitting on the basis of comma. So now after splitting, yes, this split method will create a list object. So now if you are printing the list L, so all elements, all words are printed in the form of a list. So split is a method which splits based on some separator. Suppose if you take another example, let us suppose S1 is equal to this is learn with, this is learn with Lakineni. This is learn with Lakineni. This is learn with Lakineni. Now I am creating a list L2 is equal to S1 dot split. Here there is no comma. On what basis I will split? I don't mention anything. If you don't mention anything, by default it will take the space, the white space between the words as a separator. Suppose if you execute this, you can see without giving any separation also you are able to split the words. So here this will become the first element, is will become the second element, learn with become third element, next one is with, next one is Lakineni. So how it is separated? Based on the gap, based on the space. Here there is a space. So based on the space, this word is taken into the list. Again, this space, based on that, it recognized the is learn with Lakineni. So this is a way of using the list method and creating a list object. Suppose if I take L is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. I have taken another list L1 is equal to A, comma, B, comma, C. Here I have two lists. Now I want to concatenate these two lists L plus L1 with a concatenation operation plus. Now you can see immediately those two lists were concatenated. So here 10, 20, 30, 40 from this list, and these elements are concatenated to the list L. So A, B, C. So whatever the first L is there, first list is there, those elements will be preserved, and to that the remaining next list elements will be added. So this is called concatenation operation. Here this is only the intermediate result. This was not stored anywhere. Suppose if you see L, the same elements are there. If you see L, the same elements are there. If you see L1, the same elements are there. So, but if you do L plus L1, temporarily the two lists were concatenated. Or if you write L1 plus L, then the elements were temporarily concatenated. Whatever the list is there in the first one, those elements will be there in the first one, and the remaining elements will be added into the last element. Suppose here I have a list L is equal to 10, 20, 30, 30, 10, 20, 40, 50, 30, 20, 10. So here I want to see the count of element. Suppose if you want to see the count of element, you have to use how many times the element presented in the given list. Suppose L dot count. So I want to know how many times 10 was presented. So the 10 was presented 3 times in the given list. So you can, with the help of count method, you can know the number of occurrence of the given element in the list. So here 10 is there first time, second time, third time. So it gives count method gives the number of occurrence of the given element in the sequence. Suppose if I write L dot count of 30, so it gives count of 30. 30 is the element which is existed 3 times in the given list. So that is the way of using the count method in the list. So I hope everyone has followed my video. So in this I have explained all the methods available in the list with complete examples. You please watch the video again and again, and you please practice it so that you will get more knowledge. So thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel, Learn with Lakineni. Thank you, Varunda.